Hi, my name's Daniel and today I'm going to teach you how to be more interesting. So as you can see, it's a bit of a soaking wet day here in Glasgow, but just try to film as much as I can and be as interested as I can for this interesting video. But anyway, look at that. Yes, I am wearing sunglasses in order to be seen as more interesting. But here's number one: stop being scared of being uninteresting. So one of the biggest mistakes that people make when trying to be interesting is that they're too scared of seeming uninteresting. And you know what happens when you're scared of being uninteresting? You become uninteresting because you're scared to breathe, scared to talk, scared to share your opinion. Oh, but that topic's been talked about so many times. I don't care. You haven't talked about it so many times. There's so many YouTubers, Daniel. How could you ever stand out? I don't care about standing out. I want to just put my spin on things. Yes, I don't have a big, massive condo in the middle of the Bahamas like a lot of YouTubers have. I am maybe in a kitchen slash living room slash gym, but it's all practicality. This for me, I can do my workout, I can cook some food, and then I can do my laundry all at the same time. Number two, be as passionate about everything and anything and curious about anything, even if it's mundane. Walt Disney himself said, if you're curious, you will find lots of interesting things to do. In order to be interesting, you need to be interested. That's why people like this guy here, Muhammad Ali, he was interested in boxing, but he was also interested in equality. And so he used both of these passions of his to become the greatest and one of the greatest humanitarians of our time as well. And not only that, but he was so interesting and everybody was gripped with every word that he had to say. Why? Because of his passion, because he actually wanted to do it and he loved doing it. It was his dream and his passion that pulled that through. I swear I watched a guy talking about fragrances online and his passion alone led me to literally buy all of this. And yeah, I do like fragrances myself, but if it wasn't for these passionate people, they wouldn't have got me into it as well. Number three, stop letting your ego run your life. I'm not gonna lie, from 2012 to like 2017, I was such an uninteresting person. All I did whenever I did work in a bar was just go and meet up with my friends and drink every weekend. And I had this one friend in particular that we just drank and went out and partied just like normal. It's normal, but it's just not interesting. And in 2017, that best friend, he actually killed himself. And it made me realise and stop for a second and say life is short, life is fragile. And so I was forced into being interesting. I wanted to actually do something with my life. Because we always made plans, but we never followed them through because we were scared. We didn't actually take the leap, take the chance, and take the risk. And so in 2017, I made it my mission to go travel, go see the world. People would say, oh, but you need to save your money. Age of 23, 24, I need to go travel. I think that it's absolutely perfectly fine to go and travel and find yourself a wee bit, go and experience life a little bit. And so my choice was to travel. And so for the last few years, I've travelled and I've got so many stories, so many interesting things that have happened and so many interesting people that I've met. I don't regret it, and this is what happens when you actually get out of your comfort zone. You don't listen to the naysayers and the people that are bringing you down. You don't care what people think because it's your life at the end of the day. And people respect that and they love that, and they almost envy you. Even the most successful people. A rich guy who's made 2 billion will trade in anything to have his youth back. And youth and time is one thing that we must not be wasting. Number four, become weaker to become stronger. A great man once said, humility is not weakness, but strength under control. And it's so true, because you know what? Your weaknesses are actually sometimes your strengths. Here's an example of how your weaknesses can be your strengths. So I studied acting, and one of the biggest things that people told me was that if you have very prominent features like a huge nose or big ears or something like that, that's actually a really good thing, because people want to have a memorable face. People like Danny DeVito, they stood out because he was short. a lot of people stand out because they're tall. He stood out because he was short. Funny, crazy personality. And people would be like, wow, this guy is so funny, because he played to his strengths. And his strengths was, his height wasn't so tall. And so he played the whole I'm so short guy. People love Danny DeVito all around the world. People like Rowan Atkinson. Rowan Atkinson made and contorted his face so much. And then he was Mr. Bean. He's a guy who is self-aware, doesn't try to please everybody with how he looks. He just is confident that he has a good ability to act and to be a performer. Life becomes a lot more fun, and if we just see ourselves rather than trying to be all sexy, and you just are self-aware and you know who you are, you know what you stand for, then you're going to go far in life and you're very interesting to people. And number 5, stop trying to be interesting just to get noticed. If you're trying way too hard to be interesting, then you're not actually doing it for yourself. You're doing that to please others. You're doing that to have some sort of immortality project. There was this tunnel in New York, and it's called the Hugh L. Carey Tunnel. And I was always wondering, who the hell is Hugh L. Carey? He was like a mayor or a senator or some sort of guy. He will be remembered as an inconvenience, a place where people get stuck in traffic, a place where people can't find how to get to Manhattan because they're under the Hugh L. Carey tunnel. People like Paul Stamets, mushroom guy, that goes on Joe Rogan and he talks about how he loves mushrooms, he has a passion for mushrooms. That guy made me so into mushrooms, and he's actually affected my life because I'm now healthier. I'm like eating and drinking lion's mane and it's helping my brain. Chaga and shiitake mushrooms. I've known what these mushrooms were if it wasn't for this guy. So what would you rather be remembered as? A guy who's just got his name on some inconvenient bridge, he needs to have his name everywhere? Or would you rather be the person who's just interested and people are like, wow, that's helped me? So do things not for yourself but for others too. And one honourable mention would be that you need to put yourself out of your comfort zone. We're too comfortable. I don't know, go for a cold shower, or in my case, an ice bath. Treat life like a game and give yourself little challenges. But as always guys, if you did actually like this video, please don't be shy and give us a little like or subscribe, you beautiful bunch of people. Love you all very much, and thank you so much for all the continued support.